Once again, inspired by my buddy Jenny Thrifty Reads, instead of an April TBR, I'm going to do an April menu. That means I'm going to have a bunch of books on my radar for April that I'm wanting to read and no commitment on whether or not I will read them. Now, first up is the one that's definitely going to get read, and that's a book called The Gatekeepers by Chris Whipple. This is our pick for the Presidential Biography Book Club. If you're interested about reading about chiefs of staff and how important they are to the presidency and history, join us for this one. Next is a book that I picked up in March and I'm going to continue on in April for sure. Whether or not I finish it is another story. Is a book called Agent Zoe by Claire Mully. This book is so good so far. I just haven't had the time to finish it. And like I said at the beginning of the year, I've been wanting to read a lot more Polish history. And so this is going to be my pick for the month of April in order to do that. Next up is a book that I was inspired to pick up off my shelf after I read The Kite Runner, and that's a book called The Game Without Rules by Tamim Ansari, and this is a one-volume history of the history of Afghanistan. It looks really interesting, and Tamim Ansari has written some very highly praised books about the Middle East. Next are two books that deal with the exact same topic, and I just have to decide which one I'm going to read first. The first is Abyss by Max Hastings, and the second is a book called Nuclear Folly by Sirhi Plocki, and both look at the history of the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I haven't ever read Max Hastings, so I kind of just have to decide which one of the two I want to take down. Either way, I think I can't go wrong because reading about the Cuban Missile Crisis is a lot of fun for me. The next book that I want to read in April is a book called Liberation by Imogen Keeley. And this is a historical fiction book about an Australian woman who was a part of the French Resistance. And the final book that I'm looking at trying to pick up for April is another book that I started reading in March, but I didn't really get that far in. But from what I read so far, it was really good. It's a book called Patriot by Alexei Navalny. He was the main Russian opposition leader to Vladimir Putin. And I picked this one up because it just came out in paperback. I've been waiting for it to come out in paperback, but it's a thickums and it has a lot of context, which a lot of memoir biographies do, but it is such an interesting read so far, and I'm really hoping to continue on with this in April. If you've read it, let me know in the comments. So I've got a lot to choose from on this April menu. Let me know which one of these books most interests you in the comments, and I'll see you guys there.